This is a severe weather alert. You are watching 13 on your side.
Good morning, West Michigan. I'm meteorologist Samantha Jacks.
And I'm meteorologist Blake Hansen. We have active severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing right now, and in fact, a new severe thunderstorm warning for Kent County. Sam, you take this away.
Yeah, this is a thunderstorm warning that we want to take really seriously, and we ask you guys to please seek shelter from this storm immediately and head to your shelter location. A severe thunderstorm was located 9 miles west of Wayland and is continuing to move out of Allegan to the north and east at about 55 miles per hour currently. We are expecting damage to roofing, sidings, as well as trees. Locations that are expected to be impacted pretty soon here include Grand Rapids, Wyoming, Kentwood, Walker, Granville, East Grand Rapids, Rockford, Sparta, Lowell, Caledonia. This continues on even through the Grand Rapids Ford Airport location. Now again, these storms are expected to produce 60+ mile per hour wind gusts, and there is a tornado possible within the storm itself. So that's something that we're tracking very, very closely. You can see that threat possible. So we're going to continue to watch the storm. Let's pass things over to meteorologist Michael Behrens. He's going to look inside the storm itself.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. We're tracking, again, like you said, a potentially very dangerous thunderstorm working its way into Kent County here this evening. We're going to keep a very close eye on where we're seeing some of the threats with this particular thunderstorm. The tornado possible tag, of course, being added to that. That's where we're seeing the potential for some rotation inside of this system. So let's go ahead and take a look inside and see if we can see any of that rotation here on, this is what you call velocity. It looks inside the storm, tells us where the winds are going. You can see a pretty strong gust of wind coming in through Grand Rapids along US 131. Rotation potential, if there is any, is likely going to be coming into the southwestern portion of the county. It's a little bit cluttered here on radar. You can see some of that purple there, which is cluttered returns. So it's not completely obvious. That's why we're not seeing a tornado warning with this storm, but there is the potential for some rotation in this particular storm. So if you're on the southern side of Kent County, M6 and south, make sure you're seeking your shelter. Treat this as a tornado warning because it could very quickly spawn some rotation, a quick spin up tornado, or possibly something stronger than that. That's why we're going to be watching this system very carefully. Traveling further north along the line up US 131, strong winds have just made their way through Comstock Park. They're working their way through downtown right now and through the Belmont area. They're going to be heading into the northeastern side of the loop here not too long on 96. Watch for some really strong winds and heavy rain with this particular system. In terms of the hail threat, not seeing too much in terms of hail, but possibly some small hail up toward Comstock Park, northern side of the county. Some other hail potential down to the south of Cutlerville. Byron Center could see some small hail with this particular system as well. So these are going to be areas of concern that we'll be watching as this particular warning continues. This warning, again, I think you guys said was going to continue for a little bit here. Let's come back to you guys and tell us a little bit more about that warning.
Yeah, so we actually have 2 warnings in effect right now. Blake, go ahead and talk about the one that's been in effect for a little while now.
Yeah, with this initial severe thunderstorm warning that's in place for Allegan and also Van Buren County, this stretches into the far western half of Kalamazoo County right now, but the main impacts between Van Buren and Allegan County. This goes until 10:15, so we got about roughly 10 to 15 more minutes of the severe thunderstorm warning. The main concern with this warning, unlike Kent County, is just primarily in the way of strong damaging winds, upwards of 60 miles per hour, maybe some embedded marginal hail with this system, or with this severe thunderstorm warning. Again, that is unlike the Kent County severe thunderstorm warning, where there is the potential of a spin-up tornado, at least in the Kent County severe thunderstorm warning. But you can see this is our hail potential right now, some pockets of possible hail. We could see hail upwards of 1 inch in diameter, maybe even greater than that if we see hail really take over as the prominent severe type. We did see that last evening in a few of those severe thunderstorm warnings across Allegan and Berry County, where there were hail sizes up to tennis ball size hail. So again,
And let's talk a little bit about what exactly you should be doing right now. If you're underneath a severe thunderstorm warning, it's time now to take shelter from this storm. That means getting into the most interior room of your household. That also means getting into the basement if you have one. You can bring things with you like a helmet. You can also bring things with you like a pillow or a mattress to cover yourself from any flying debris. It's really, really important that you note that there is a tour possible within the severe thunderstorm warning that's currently located in Kent County. So now, again, we didn't have clear indication of whether or not there is a tornado on the ground yet, but it is a possibility. So we really ask you to heed this warning currently. And taking a look at it right now, if you're just joining us, we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Kent County. Again, we're seeing a storm move out of Allegan County at about 55 miles per hour, producing 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. We're expecting damage to roofing, siding, trees. This storm is eventually going to make its way towards Grand Rapids, Wyoming, Kentwood, Walker, Granville. But you can see on a broader view of things here, we've got thunderstorm activity all across the area with lots of thunder and lightning and heavy downpours of rainfall occurring. So we really, really want to watch this closely. And I'm starting to notice a little bit of bowing happening within the cell itself throughout Kent County. That can be an indicator of strong winds embedded in the storm as well. Let's see if we're seeing any rotation at the surface here.
Yeah, we're going to put on velocity right here. Nothing that's clear cut in terms of any rotation, but you can see that this main line of thunderstorms producing at the very least some stronger winds. You can see this line stretching all the way from Cedar Springs down to just now to the east of Belmont, Comstock Park, and then into the southern half of Kent County. That would include Wyoming into Byron Center. But again, this is our main concern as we go throughout the rest of this hour. Roughly now until 11 this morning, we have the severe thunderstorm warning in place across Kent County. Let's send things over to meteorologist Michael Behrens. He's going to have another look at this Kent County storm. Michael, what are you looking at right now?
Yeah, so the thing we're keeping a close eye on with this particular thunderstorm is, do we see that rotation start to form? They issued it with the TOR possible tag, which means while there's not a tornado at the moment, they don't have enough evidence to produce a tornado warning. We could quickly see a tornado develop with this particular system. The main threat is going to be down here in the southern portion of the county. That's where the stronger portion of the cell was lifting out of Allegan County, which is also under a tornado warning at this time. We'll switch over to what we call velocity here. You saw that a little bit ago with the other scan, and that shows us just a view inside the storm of where the winds are going. If we're going to see something that would be indicative of tornado, you're going to want to watch for areas where these reds and these greens tightly congregate together. Now, what you're seeing here on the northern side of the storm that's now pushed through Grand Rapids and is heading into the northeastern side of the city, this is outflow. So this is strong winds that may cause damage in their own right with the system, but not the type of indication that we would see for the potential of rotation with this system. Again, we're watching that southern end of the system for the strongest indicators of whether or not we see any rotation. And if we do see it pop up here, there's going to be good visibility. We're very close to the radar here, so this is going to get a very good picture inside that storm. And if rotation does develop, the Weather Service is going to be able to note it very quickly. We'll take a sort of closer picture here down toward the Kentwood area. Looks like there may be a little bit of return there, but this kind of looks more like outflow to me. I think we're on the wrong side of the returns here for that to be rotation, but this is going to be the part of the storm that we're going to have to watch very carefully over the next little bit to see if any rotation does develop. We do have another product here. It's called our shear tracker. That will be able to take another look inside the storm and see if we are seeing any indications of rotation. They would show up here as blues and eventually purples as things get stronger. And it's not looking like we're detecting anything in the algorithm there at this time. So that's good news here. Again, we haven't been upgraded to a tornado warning, but with the tornado possible tag on this system, it's going to be something that we follow here very closely over the next several minutes and over the next hour as we watch this system develop here across the region. We'll zoom back out, give you the big view of the storms pushing through West Michigan. Again, we have the severe thunderstorm warning here in Kent County with the tornado possible tag. The severe thunderstorm warnings down in Allegan, Van Buren, and Kalamazoo County, as well as the system pushes through. And Sam, as you've been talking about this morning, we also are under a tornado watch for quite a while still to come today. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly, Michael. Right now, the areas highlighted in yellow across the region are underneath a tornado watch. That means that the time is now to prepare for the potential threat of a tornado. Kent County, you're underneath that potential threat currently. This remains in effect until 4 p.m. today. Right now, we're seeing the collision of these storms. And again, a tornado watch means the time is now to prepare. Once a tornado warning is issued or a severe thunderstorm warning, like in the case of Kent County right now, you need to take take action and seek shelter immediately from that storm. If you're curious, where should I be? What should I go to? Depending on your different location, let's talk a little bit about that right now. Don't worry, Blake and Michael are still tracking that storm in Kent County very, very closely. If you have no basement, or if you're in a dorm or in an apartment, you want to get to the lowest floor and into the most interior room. Cover yourself with a mattress or blankets, and at all costs, avoid windows. It's those windows that can shatter in from the strength of the winds, and then you could be hit with debris or potentially even glass. If you are in a mobile home, I cannot stress this enough. Now is the time to find a shelter location that is not your mobile home. There is no safe case scenario that you can seek shelter within a mobile home itself. And then, of course, if you are at work, there is probably policies and plans in place for the potential of a tornado. I know we have policies and plans in place right here at 13 on your side. We head to our basement. We stay active on air, even if there's a tornado happening in our area. And of course, if you're in places like malls or stores, you do not want to panic. Help each other out. We are all in this together. There's nothing to be afraid of necessarily. You just want to make sure that you're preparing. Blake?
Yeah, and again, we're just going to kind of recap what we're dealing with right now. Again, we have a severe thunderstorm warning, two separate severe thunderstorm warnings, one that is across Van Buren and Allegan County. The main risk with that severe thunderstorm warning is damaging wind, upwards of 60+ miles per hour. Then we have another severe thunderstorm warning for Kent County right now, where damaging wind is a primary threat, but there is also the possibility that a spin-up tornado can occur. Now, we do not have any radar indicated or confirmed tornado on the ground anywhere across West Michigan. I want to make that clear, but we do have the potential with this tornado watch across much of West Michigan to the east side of the state all the way until 4 this afternoon. I also want to highlight another threat that will likely start to rise as this morning goes on, the risk for flooding, including flash flooding. We have seen a lot of rainfall over the last several days, and we are seeing more rainfall this morning, and we do have flood advisories in place. You can see this all shaded in light green. That is a flood advisory, especially low-lying spots, places that are more tuned to see flash flooding. You really want to steer away from those locations. Obviously, if you are you're dealing with any flooded roadways, the main expression here is always turn around, don't drown, because it only takes a couple inches of fast-moving water, rainfall, to cause issues in the way of flooding. So something to keep in mind. We're
seeing a little bit of ponding there on the grassy surfaces at the Grand Rapids Airport. Before sending things over to Michael, which I'm going to do in just a second here, let's take a look across Grand Rapids. You can see our camera bouncing up and down in downtown Grand Rapids right now from those strong gusty winds. Temperature-wise, we have this really warm air mass in place that continues to fuel these showers and storms, feeling humid, feeling muggy outside currently. All right, let's send things back over to meteorologist Michael Behrens. He's got a look again inside the storm.
Yeah, and you might be asking yourself, when it comes to these warnings, what exactly is tornado possible? I thought there was thunderstorm warning. I thought there was tornado warning. Well, they've expanded them in recent years to cover different categories. The basic thunderstorm warning is just for a radar indicated severe thunderstorm threat, wind or hail. They upgrade that to tornado possible when the dynamics of the storm could produce a tornado. There's also, beyond that, considerable and destructive threats. That's what we had yesterday with the very large hail that was pushing through the southern portions of the viewing area. That is for a storm that is likely to or is causing some substantial damage. Now, if they upgrade those to tornado warnings, we have different categories there as well. Radar indicated means there's just a tornado that has been seen the potential for on radar. Confirmed means that's either radar or seen by an actual person. So this could be something like debris on radar or something that a person has reported to the Weather Service. They upgrade that to a considerable threat when that tornado is large and causing damage, and then a tornado emergency is the kind of situation like we saw last week down in Little Rock, Arkansas, where you have a large violent tornado on the ground. As of right now, all we're seeing here in West Michigan is the possibility for some rotation inside of the storm that's coming through Kent County right now. In fact, making its way through Kent County quite quickly. You can see it's already getting over toward Greenville, stretching down right now some of the heaviest activity through Kentwood and down into the Cutlerville area on the southern side of the county. An additional area out in front here over toward the airport with some heavier rain, lightning associated with that particular portion of the cell as well. Now, when it comes to this cell as a whole, we are moving off to the north and east around 55 miles per hour. So we'll put the storm track on the leading edge of that line here, and we'll track it again off toward the north and east at about 55 miles per hour. 4. That's going to put it into Greenville here at 10:18. So very shortly for you guys. Lowell at 10:19, Sheridan at 10:29, and the Saranac area by 10:31, over toward Ionia by 10:39, and then off to the north and east from there. So the storm is moving very rapidly. So while you got time to get out in front of this storm, it's not going to be a lot of time because this is moving about highway speeds here when it comes to the potential for severe weather. I want to take a look inside that storm as well. We'll switch back over to our velocity product here and show you what we can see inside the storm. And again, we're looking for those areas where those reds and greens come together very tightly. That's where we could see the potential for rotation. Now, we're not seeing anything too indicative of a tornado right now as that storm again moves very close to the Grand Rapids radar here. One of the other things that we can do when it comes to this storm is we can change the level in the atmosphere that we're looking at. As we get closer to the radar, we're going to shoot closer and closer to ground level, so we may need to go higher to see if there's any kind of rotation in the storm. We'll drag this up. You'll see the system change here on radar as we move up throughout the storm, and it doesn't look like there's any real signs of rotation higher in the storm either, so that's more good news. Again, they did not have the evidence to produce a tornado warning, just that one could be possible with this cell, and as of right now, we're not seeing anything that would indicate, at least to me, tornadoes. Sam?
Yeah, and I completely understand if those of you at home are thinking to yourself, all right, time to get back to Judge Judy. But the thing is when we have a severe thunderstorm warning with a tor possible in it, we are going to remain on air until that threat goes away. And let's repeat exactly what it is that we're seeing here. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning in place for Kent County, continuing on until 11 o'clock this morning. That includes Grand Rapids, Kentwood, Wyoming. This is because of 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and the potential for a tornado embedded within the storms. Some of the locations that are seeing some of the heaviest rainfall right now include Ada, as well as Cascade. That's tracking towards the Lowell area, as well as Cannonsburg right now. It looks like those of you in Rockford, Belmont, Comstock Park are definitely done with the heaviest of precipitation. It's now moving into eastern portions of Kent County, but those in southwestern portions of Kent County, including Kentwood, Cutlerville, as well as Wyoming, down towards Caledonia, continuing to see heavy precipitation. Not a ton of thunder and lightning, though, what I'm noticing actually right now embedded with this storm, but we are really close to the radar, and sometimes that can make things a little bit trickier to see. We do see some thunder and lightning, but definitely the heavier bursts of rain continuing to be one of our main threats with the storm itself. Now, when a severe thunderstorm warning is issued for your area, that means that it's indicative of an inch or larger hail, 58+ mile-per-hour wind gusts. In this case, we're looking at 60 mile-per-hour plus wind gusts, as well as the potential for a tornado to be possible within the storm. You want to make sure that you're seeking shelter from this storm in Kent County until the threat has passed. Now, we have, I think, dropped the warning now for portions of Allegan County. Let me take a look here. It's taken the computer just a second to load along with me. Yep, it looks like we have now dropped the threat for Allegan County as well as Berry County, with our main concern continuing to remain within Kent County itself. We're showing that band of showers and storms progressing off to the east along the bands itself. Let's see if I can draw a track onto where it's headed next, because those of you in Montcalm County, or at least southern Montcalm County and into Ionia County, will be the ones to see this storm next in this line of showers and storms that again has the potential threat for it to produce possibly even a tornado, definitely producing some strong winds along with it and potentially even some hail. This is not quite going in the direction I want it to. Let's see what we can do here. Interacting with the winds. All right, Lowell seeing the heaviest of storms, if not already seeing some heavy precipitation within the next 5 to 10 minutes, making it into Ionia by around 10:36 a.m., making it towards Lake Odessa, one of the locations that got hit hard yesterday with some strong hail. In fact, that was our highest hail report from yesterday afternoon. That's going to be by around 10:48 this morning. And then by 11 o'clock, we do expect this severe thunderstorm warning to drop off, but until then, we are going to continue to track the storm. Blake, is there anything that you've noticed about the storm that you'd like to talk about?
I just want to quickly break down that we are seeing that this range of thunderstorms across West Michigan is quickly racing off to the east. Places such as the lakeshore right now, especially Holland, northward towards Leadington, a lot of the rain itself is even coming to an end. And so this is going to be a pretty quick moving line of thunderstorms over the next hour. I really think that by roughly 11:30, noon at the latest, that this initial batch of thunderstorms will be out of West Michigan. Then the focus towards the end of this afternoon, or really mid-afternoon, will be in the way of the actual cold front. That will bring in possibly another round of thunderstorms. But here's the thing. We'll see how this morning convection, these thunderstorms this morning, will change our atmosphere for the afternoon. While the actual fresh warning coming in, we'll let Sam take over.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you there, Blake, but we do have a fresh warning. I was just talking moments ago how this was going to enter into Ionia County, and now we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Ionia County, as well as Montcalm County, and continuing on until 11:15 a.m. So this storm is going to continue to race off to the east. As of right now, we are continuing on with 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts embedded in this storm. We can expect damage to roofing, siding, trees. Locations that are going to be impacted shortly here include Ionia, Greenville, Portland, Lake Odessa, Belding, Stanton, Saranac, and then continuing to push off to the east from there. Let's send things over to meteorologist Michael Behrens for another look at the storm.
Yeah, that's right. The storm moving off to the east at a pretty good clip. I think most of the severe threat going to exit the warning that's been in place for Kent County before that expiration time. So likely that will be allowed to expire possibly a little bit early. But as you see, they have extended the warning now into portions of Ionia County and Montcalm County. The good news here, too, note the difference in color here. We go from that black warning in Kent County to just a red one in the eastern portion of the viewing area. That means that tornado possible threat was not extended with the warning, though it is still producing some pretty strong winds as it moves off toward the east. So the good news is, while this storm is still severe and something that we're going to need to watch very carefully here as we move through the next hour or so, it's not producing that signature that it could spin up a tornado, at least not as of right now. That's good news. As we track that storm off further to the east, it is still racing about 60 miles per hour. So we'll track the entirety of the line here where we could see some of those strong winds off to the east at right around 60 miles per hour. That's going to put it in the Belding area by 10:20, Sheridan by 10:27, Ionia at 10:32, Lyons by 10:39, and from there on out of the 13 on your side viewing area, it will be in the Alma area though by 10:49 here this morning. So this is going to be quite a noisy storm at times, quite a windy storm at times, and potentially one that does produce a little bit of hail. We haven't seen too much in the way of hail today compared to what we saw yesterday, those ping pong ball size hailstones that fell across the southern portions of the viewing area, though I do want to go ahead and we'll put on our hail tracker here and we'll see what the hail potential is inside this storm. VIL is what we look at when we look for hail. That's basically just the amount of hail potential that we could see inside the storm, how dense some of the objects are in the atmosphere. We're not seeing a whole lot here, so we could see a little bit of small hail crossing from about central portions of Kent County into northwestern Ionia County, but nothing here like what we were tracking yesterday evening, so that's good news as well. So the main threat we're going to see with this particular system is going to be the damaging wind potential, 60+ mile per hour winds possible as the storm exits from portions of Kent County into Ionia County. The portions of Kent County that are still most at risk for severe weather are going to be areas south of M44 as we work our way toward and past the airport along 96. If you're traveling out there, expect some very strong winds to come through rapidly, some heavy rain, possibly some whiteout rain conditions at times in some of those heavier areas of showers that push through. The main threat, though, going to be working its way now into Ionia and Montcalm County, though again, if you're still in southeastern portions of Kent, there is the risk for some pretty strong wind as this severe thunderstorm continues to work its way off toward the east at this hour. Now again, we are tracking several possibilities for severe weather here this morning and into the afternoon, so that threat is going to continue. There are alerts all across Michigan at this hour, out toward the Lansing area, seeing again some severe thunderstorms with tornadoes possible, those outside of our viewing area, so that's good news there. There is another severe thunderstorm warning down in Berrien County, and as Sam's been telling you all this week, Blake too, the threat for severe weather going to continue into this afternoon, and it's definitely a higher threat than we've seen yet this season.
Yeah, Michael, right now we're looking at our current peak wind gusts across the region. We're seeing a 56 mile per hour wind gust currently located in Grand Rapids, one of the areas that's underneath that severe thunderstorm warning currently.
And
Go ahead, Blake.
That report or that indication of 56 mile per hour wind gust, that is at the airport. So that is the southeastern half of town. Again, at the airport, that's where that wind report is coming from. But obviously the concern comes in. You can see, why don't we zoom in a little bit closer, Sam, to Lowell right now, and then actually freeze radar at this moment. You can see almost a little bit, not necessarily a textbook indication, but a little bit of that bowing with that main cell that's working through far eastern Kent County right now, right on the doorstep of Lowell. And the thing about this is that this would indicate that we're seeing some strong winds, maybe straight line winds, reaching its way to the surface in far eastern Kent County. This will be stretching into Ionia County within the next 15 minutes or so. But you can see that this outflow, this leading edge of the dark red, you can see that's indicating some strong winds reaching its way, or at least for the most part trying to reach its way to the surface. So with that 56-mile-per-hour wind gust reported at the airport, that is the concern in far eastern Kent County right now, that these winds, these strong winds, are still ongoing. Again, Lowell, you are right there seeing that storm work through at this moment, and this again will try to work its way into eastern Kent County as we go into eastern Kent County and then into Ionia County over the next 15 to 30 minutes. So that is the concern with this thunderstorm at this particular moment.
Yeah, and I've just been kind of clicking through our couple of threats that we're seeing here, but it's still going to be that damaging winds that remains my main concern as of right now. And this is just a reminder, if any of you are just joining us, who's currently underneath our severe thunderstorm warnings. It is still including portions of Kent County, despite it moving out of Kent County right now. Those of you hatched in that black, well, it's no longer a square anymore, are still underneath that severe thunderstorm warning. It's including Ada as well as portions of Lowell. Lowell, again, you're getting hit the hardest right now. Alto going to see some strong to severe storms. It looks again like those of you over towards Comstock Park, Belmont, Rockford, you should be pretty smooth sailing here in the coming minutes. Definitely up towards Kent City, Cedar Springs, you've been removed from the severe thunderstorm warning. And then the other two counties that are still in effect for a severe thunderstorm warning include portions of Montcalm County as well as Ionia County. That includes Stanton through Greenville, continuing on into Ionia, and then that will eventually stretch its way over to Portland. These are heavy downbursts of rain. There is thunder and lightning embedded in the storms. 60-plus-mile-per-hour wind gusts are possible. Even hail could be an indicator of something that we could see over the next hour or so. Both of these remain into effect into either 11 or 11:15. Winds are very, very strong. And just to give you a general look at our risk for severe weather today, a majority of West Michigan, or at least southeastern West Michigan, is underneath a level 3 threat for severe weather, with northern portions of West Michigan underneath a level 2 threat. That has since been downgraded since earlier this morning. Our main concerns this morning continue to be damaging winds, that potential for a tornado, heavy bursts of rain, and hail. We're going to continue to watch this very, very closely, keeping our eye on the sky. Let's take it back to meteorologist Michael Behrens. He's got more details on this storm.
Yeah, that's right, Sam. Keep in mind, we are in a very warm, very moist environment here at this hour. Dew points in West Michigan, especially in the southern counties, have lifted into the 60s, and temperatures are approaching the 70s across the region. So this is a very warm environment, very moist environment for these storms to take advantage of. If there's some good news, is that we've got a lot of rain across the region this morning, and the more energy we can get rid of now, the less the threat could be later this afternoon. But we are under a tornado watch until around 4 o'clock this evening, so the threat not necessarily going to be done when this first system moves through. The models right now are starting to weaken what comes through this afternoon, so that's the good potential there as well, that we could see maybe not so many threats this evening. But of course we'll have to see if those clouds do break. If they break this afternoon, then we could add some more energy back to the atmosphere, and we could be watching for more severe weather behind this first round of storms. And that's why the Storm Prediction Center has kept us under a watch until later in the evening today. Now we are tracking a couple severe thunderstorm warnings here across West Michigan, as we've been talking about throughout this morning, including what is coming through Kent County and now working its way into portions of Montcalm and Ionia County. I would say most of the threat here in Kent County, even for areas that are under this severe thunderstorm warning, is mostly done. The area of Kent County that we're watching for the biggest concern right now is going to be far eastern side of Kent County, Alto to Lowell, up further to the north, north and then over into Ionia County. That's where we're going to have the biggest threat for continued severe thunderstorms over the next little bit as we work our way through this morning and toward the noon hour. As far as this threat with the storm, the good news is we haven't seen too much in the way of rotation potential, but we have certainly seen the wind potential with this storm. We'll switch back over to the velocity here, and you can see this kind of area of bright red that goes from Montcalm County all the way back down even towards southeastern portions of Kent County. This is going to be that leading edge of wind potential as it works its way off into portions of Ionia and Montcalm County. That's where we could see still those 60+ mile-per-hour wind gusts associated with this storm, and that would certainly be into severe potential region when it comes to the threat. We haven't seen too much in the way of hail. In fact, if we switch back over to the radar here, you can see not a lot of really bright reds or purples coming through on the radar. That would be indicative of taller thunderstorms or at the very least denser returns when it comes to the potential for hail. So what we're mainly concerned about as we get into portions of Montcalm County and into portions of Ionia County is going to be this wind threat. We'll put the latest storm track on this system here as well. Again, as it continues to move off to the east at right around 60 miles per hour, it's really racing even through portions of Montcalm and Ionia County. It's going to be out of the 13 on your side viewing area really before too long here, but it's going to be toward Ionia by 10:32, Lyons at 10:38, Alma at 10:43, into the Westphalia area around 10:47. So this storm is moving at a good clip. It's producing, or at least has the potential to produce, some strong winds, and at least the good news is now I haven't seen any additional warnings that would indicate that we're seeing any tornado potential developing with this system. I think we're really into a wind category here. I want to toss things back over to Blake Hansen. What are you seeing with this storm and that potential?
Yeah, completely agree with you, Michael, that as of now, it's really the wind potential, maybe on a lesser and a hail threat with these ongoing severe thunderstorms. But at least from Ottawa, Kent, Mecosta, Montcalm County to the south and east, it stretches to the east side of the state. There is still an ongoing tornado watch that is in effect now all the way until 4 this evening. The other concern as we go throughout today is that we will see the possibility of some low-lying flooding, and in fact, even some flash flooding.
Sorry, Blake.
Yeah, go ahead.
A new report that this keeps happening every time you come on.
Ahead.
Unfortunately,
Yep.
we've got a non-confirmed but preliminary spotter report. It's coming as a funnel cloud potentially, and I'm trying to see, looking to the northwest
So that's in
out of
Okemos.
Okemos.
Okay,
Yep,
Okemos.
looking towards the Walmart there. So a potential funnel cloud. Again, this is not confirmed. This is just a report that we're currently getting, and it's something that we want to take very, very seriously. We completely understand. We have been cutting in for a while now. We understand that you want to get back to your programming, but anytime there is a possible, or a tornado possible, I should say, embedded in a severe thunderstorm warning, we remain on air, continuing coverage until we know for sure that that threat is over. But we are seeing the main band of thunderstorms pushing out into Ionia.
And just another storm report just came in, Sam. This is from a trained weather spotter that there is some thunderstorm wind damage in the Rockford area, just a little bit east-southeast of Rockford, at least a large tree down on power line, so indicating that there has been some wind damage with this thunderstorm that's been working through Kent County over the last hour. Hopefully this stays pretty isolated, any storm report, but that just came in just a little bit to the east-southeast of Rockford. Again, it's really, if you have any video, have any reports that you can safely share with us. That's
Safely,
the
keyword, right?
Safely share with us. Let us know. Text us at 616-559-1310. That's a good way to let us know what's ongoing in your community. Again, do this safely, not during an active severe thunderstorm warning, but afterwards when all is clear. If you can let us know, that would be greatly appreciated. But again, we still have thunderstorm warning in portions of far east. It looks like Kent County a little bit out of that severe thunderstorm warning now. So Ionia, Montcalm County, you are in that severe thunderstorm warning. You can see that main band, that darker red you see on your map, just a little bit to the west of Ionia right now. That is coming in racing from the west, traveling eastward over 50 miles per hour. Again, severe thunderstorm warning all the way until 11:15 in the morning, so about another 45 minutes from now. Wind, damaging straight line winds, the main concern in the severe thunderstorm warning. As of now, maybe some marginal hail on top of that, the severe weather risk. But on a broad note, at least across West Michigan. The concern that will really take over once these thunderstorms pass is our flash flooding threat. We have seen a lot of rainfall over the last few days. This is, in fact, in Grand Rapids at least, our wettest start to a calendar year, almost our wettest stretch to a calendar year. And this just is a little bit on the concerning side because we just don't have a lot to take in this heavy rain, especially if we see additional thunderstorms this afternoon out ahead of the cold front. So again, we still have active severe thunderstorm warning, Ionia, Montcalm County. This goes until 11:15. Damaging straight line winds, main concern, upwards of 60 miles per hour. This is quickly racing to the east. You'll probably hear a lot about additional warnings on the east side of the state as the morning goes on into early afternoon. But we do expect that for now, this initial burst of thunderstorm activity to be out of West Michigan by probably noon, so another hour and a half from now. And then we'll keep a close eye, as Michael has mentioned earlier, just a few minutes ago, on the potential of additional thunderstorms out ahead of the actual cold front. But we'll see how our atmosphere recovers over the next few hours. That secondary round of thunderstorms could be negated a little bit because of what's been ongoing this morning. We're kind of stealing a lot of the energy that's ongoing this morning with this round of thunderstorm activity. For now, let's give it back to Michael. Michael's got a good look at going inside these storms, especially right now in parts of Ionia, Montcalm County. Michael, what's going on?
Yeah, I wanted to follow up on that storm report we were getting, the Okemos area. That's where we're seeing some of the potential for the stronger storms out towards central portions of Michigan, over toward Ingham County, Clinton County, Eaton County. They are under the tornado possible type warnings as well here this evening. When it comes to looking inside of those storms, there is what looked to be at least some potential for a little bit of rotation over toward the Lansing area, but that's nothing too major at the moment either. This little area right in here, right near 96, could be something to watch as that storm pushes off toward the eastern side of the state. The good news is, as we track back over though toward portions of Ionia County and Montcalm County, not seeing anything that looks too indicative to me of rotation, but we are seeing the strong potential for winds really anywhere from up in Montcalm County just to the east of looks like M44 there up toward M46, I believe. That's where we're M66 and M46. That's where we're seeing that potential for some strong winds that'll stretch down through Ionia County and back down even into extreme southeastern portions of Kent County with this particular line. Nothing to me here that screams potential for tornado, very much just the wind risk. We switch over to the hail. We're really not seeing too much in the way of hail potential either. This would all be kind of pea-sized, pretty small hail, annoying, but not severe. So that's some good news there. We'll switch back to the radar view here as well to take a look inside of those storms, and the strongest bands now almost gone from Montcalm County. This has really raced across the county here. Ionia County still has a good bit to go. In fact, the winds now probably just picking up in Ionia proper right now. Some of those strongest winds exiting the southeastern side of Kent County here. And while we do still have a warning for most of the county until about 11 o'clock, I wouldn't be surprised if that is allowed to expire here again a little bit early, as these storms really do just continue to race off toward the east here. Let me zoom back out here on the map. We'll get the big picture here across West Michigan. That's where we're seeing this first wave of storms really race through the region. Looks like we do have some stronger storms now that are working their way down into portions of Van Buren County. So this is going to be another area to watch down toward Van Buren and Kalamazoo. These storms were warned as they exited Berrien County, and they could still produce some severe weather as they work their way into the broader portions of West Michigan as well. Just while we're here, we'll take a look inside those storms as well. Keep an eye out for the potential for some rotation and strong winds. I'm not seeing anything that is screaming out here, but again, it's still got the strong wind potential. The further you get from the radar, the harder it's going to be to see rotation in there. So I'm not seeing anything that screams danger at the moment. Possibly some weak rotation in southern portions of Van Buren County, but again, this is getting pretty far away from both either the radar in northern Indiana or the radar here in Grand Rapids. So it would be hard to tell anything in this particular part of the county, but it's going to be something to keep a close eye on nonetheless as those storms approach the southern portion of the viewing area. Sam?
Yeah, Michael, Just in the last couple of minutes here, well, in the last couple of seconds, the National Weather Service has dropped our severe thunderstorm warning for Kent County. It was that storm that was keeping us in continuous coverage because of the potential for a tornado. We do still have a present severe thunderstorm warning continuing on until 11:15 for portions of Ionia and Mount Calm for strong damaging winds and potentially some hail. But as of right now, there is no indication of a tornado within this storm. So because of that, we are going to end our continuing coverage, but we appreciate all of you sticking with us through this. I thank meteorologist Blake Hansen and meteorologist Michael Behrens for continuing this coverage along with me. I'm meteorologist Samantha Jacks. Have a wonderful and safe afternoon.
This was a severe weather alert from 13 on your side.